eggshells.
I had this this speech professor who was a hardcore feminazi. Like hardcore feminazi.
Like hated men?
Yeah. So I'm over here and she's like, oh, we're going to be watching some videos for extra credit. Come at this time. I show up to one of them. And the whole video was just about body positivity and then women calling men fat. Fat and sweaty like pigs pretty much. And they like legit said it. And I'm like, okay, how are you going to make a video about body positivity and then fat shame someone? I'm like, you hypocrites. How is this even like allowed? How is this edited in?
Yeah.
And then she proceeded to give all the girls better grades than the guys in the class. Like legit, there was a girl where we had this like final project. I spent all night, like I stayed up all night until like 4 a.m. working on that project. Busted my ass, finished it, got to school early, worked on it more with another kid. This girl did it 10 minutes before class. Didn't know what to say, what to recite. Like she didn't know anything. Like she stuttered, she kept going in circles throughout her whole presentation. And then the professor gives me like a 70 and she gives her like a 90 something. And then when I asked all the guys in the class, were like, yeah, I got like a 60, I got like a 70. Like highest was like an 80 for a guy. And then when I went to the girls, she's like, yeah, I got like a 95. Yeah, I got like a 93. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like I'm talking girls that like went in circles, stuttered, didn't know what the heck they were talking about, did no research. And the professor's like, here's a 90. So I ended up with an 80 something in the class because of that. Because every time that we would have like some kind of work, I'd be able to do fine. But every time we had a project or like a presentation, she'd just destroy me, give me like a 60. Because, you know, there she can freely grade me. Doesn't matter. If it's like a paper with questions, I can, you know, answer A, B, C, or D. She can't like, you know, be biased towards that. But towards presentation, she was like throughout the year, I think the highest presentation.
What was the class about?
Communications. It was a speech class. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
So every time, like no joke, all my tests, hundreds. Presentations, highest I got was a 75. Like one time, I got a 50. Okay, keep in mind, some girls in this class did a 7-page project for this project she made, and she was like, perfect, 100. I did it. I write 14 pages. 14.
How many did you need?
Like 10. And I wrote 14 pages. Okay? And she gives me a 35. And she's like, you're missing some pages. I'm like, what? And then girls that wrote like 7, 8 pages, she was like, perfect. 100. And then I asked the guy beside me, dude, what did you get? Dude, I got like a 45. I'm like, what's going on? So
I think having people like that in the education system is
it
BS.
pissed me off.
Yeah.
Nobody noticed the trend between guys having the lower, you know, average in her class. Nobody noticed that trend.
No, nobody.
Except one kid. There was one guy who was this hardcore PC Asian. And the teacher was like, presentation, wow, 100. And I'm just kind of like,
ooh, was he one of those kids who dressed like a K-pop band member?
No.
He's the opposite. He's the one who's like super freaking like
super nerdy, dresses like a dad.
And he like he walks on eggshells with everything he talks about, not masculine at all.
No, he just doesn't talk.
No, but he's the opposite. He seemed like the opposite of masculine.
Yeah.
Because I know some women who have those ideals. They only they favor men who have no like masculinity at all. Which, you know, nothing against those types of dudes. You know, you can be your own person. You don't have to fit the standard idealism of being masculine. Right. But I think it's kind of messed up that they favor people like that and give them better grades just because that's who they are.
Yeah, like there was a kid in my group who did a fantastic job. Like, I'd say he did a better job than me, hands down, on that project. He stayed up just as long. We were both up all night. We both were the only two there that were early. And we were working on it together. and he did an amazing presentation. And she gave him, on that presentation, that final one, she gave him like an 85. And then that one girl that didn't, in our group that didn't know what she was doing, she gave a higher grade.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like, I was so done with the class at the end of the year. I'm like, this is complete bullshit.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do a skit about that though, like walking on eggshells versus like who just does it. Because I don't know, I don't ever walk on eggshells around people because like I'm not coming from like a bad-hearted place. It's just like, all right, cool, you're Muslim, you're Palestinian. You know, it's like cool,
Yeah, like
bro. You know, like
there's some professors that walk in and instead of like giving the course, they'll just sit there, write some things on the board, and then proceed to start talking about the gender pay gap. And I'm like, this isn't part of the curriculum.
yeah.
And I'm like, I have nothing against, anything like women's. I'm not against women's rights. I believe everyone should be equal.
But you're not teaching me what I need
But
to
you're not
know.
teaching me what I need to know. Teach me the curriculum, not, how many women are in the STEM field.
No, did you hear about at Google there were women who were working there advocating, and sorry if I'm getting the story wrong. They're
Yeah.
advocating for equal pay for men and women at Google. So then Google basically looked at all of the men, all of the women who were working there in similar fields to see, how was the wage gap and how could they fix it and how could they make it more equal. And men were getting paid a significant amount lower than women on average at Google. So then they wanted to make the pays equal, and the same women who were advocating for that
Yeah.
did not want it. You get this issue where it's not that they want equal pay.
They want more pay.
They want more pay. It's not
Yeah.
that they want to view themselves as equal. They use that as a facade to hide that they want to be superior to you.
Right.
And it makes the whole feminist movement as a whole look bad.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
the actual ideals of feminism are not bad as a
Yeah,
whole.
like,
Yeah.
I have no problem with second wave feminism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no problem with it. But then you get these people, again, extremists,
Yeah.
who, similar to Muslims, extremists who make the whole group look bad.
Yeah.
Like
That's
or
true,
like
yeah.
free the nipple.
Yes.
Like free the nipple.
Free the nipple.
I don't even know about that. I'm
you
like,
never heard about that?
No, I haven't heard
You've
about
never
that.
heard of free the
For-
nipple?
No,
You're
I'm
older than us.
For a while,
No,
there
dude,
was
I'm
this
literally
campaign-
under
Looking at
the
you like,
rock.
how have you not heard of that?
No, I haven't heard of it.
There was a
I'm
campaign.
under the rock
There was a
every day,
campaign
bro.
of women
Seriously.
like marching topless, and they're like, if men can be shirtless outside, we
Oh.
can't
Oh, I
be
heard
too.
about that actually, but I never.
Oh,
It's like
they
walking
did that
around.
mad long ago in New York, and like females were walking around naked in New York. Yeah,
Aren't you allowed to do that in New York?
yeah, you are.
Yeah.
I don't know why they did it because it was like, hey, nobody said you couldn't. Literally, yeah, we
Okay.
literally looked at them like, nope, there's no law in New York that said you can't walk around with your
Speaking
shirt
about-
off. It's just honestly, in a way,
It's a moral stand.
yeah, it's like,
At that point.
do
It's
you
like, do you want
have
to
some
or do you
respect?
not?
Yeah,
I mean-
exactly.
It's weird because with men, nipples aren't really sexualized.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But with women, they are. It's like,
yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. Like, the reason why is because nobody looks at a man's
I mean,
fucking tit and goes,
it would be-
"Oh yeah, I love that." But I mean, you see a girl, and she's got some good breasts. I don't know what to call it that wouldn't sound awkward. But you look at her, you're like, "Damn!" You're like, "I see you." You
Yeah.
know? Let me get in there. Let me get at you. But then a man, you don't look at that and say the same thing.
yeah, that's
It's
true.
like. That's just what I don't understand. It's the
I
same
mean,
way
like-
you sexualize genitalia. Am I gonna go around yelling "free the dick"?
No,
We're gonna walk
free,
around yelling "free the dick"?
free my left testicle.
Yo, I'm just hanging brain, guys. Come on.
Just one though,
What's
just
up?
one. Like squeeze it out. You're just like walking around with your left testicle out.
Yo, I'm just chilling, bro.
Okay.
Don't stop looking at it.
Controversial topic since we were talking about New York.
Oh snap!
Oh my god.
I'm gonna get taken down.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
What do you
just
guys
gonna
think
find-
about that new abortion law in New York?
What
Can
abortion law?
you explain it?
Yeah,
to us?
please.
It's-
And try to be as
they're not in New
unbiased
York
as
right
possible.
now.
Well,
I'm
let's
trying.
focus.
I'm trying.
Try to be unbiased.
I'm pretty sure.
No, no,
that
no.
Can
it's
you look this
accurate.
up?
But it was pretty much.
I want him to speak on his point of view too. Like
Women are able to get abortions at any term of their pregnancy.
any term.
It says any term.
Any term.
Yeah,
You
please,
could be 8 months pregnant and you could
look
coat
at-
hanger that baby.
No, please look that up just in
Okay,
case.
yeah, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, because I mean, the one
Okay,
thing.
hold on. Does the New York law allow full-term abortions? Keep talking.
Yeah, I was like, we don't want to
No,
get quiet.
I mean, I'm waiting for him to.
Yeah, so
to get that
I mean,
research.
if that is true, I'm 100% against it because literally you are a person by
Yeah.
8 months. You are like, there's no, oh wait, no, maybe he's not a person. No, like by 8 months you are a person. You're real.
Yeah.
You're a baby.
You're a friggin'
even
baby.
even by like 5 months, like 3 months, you're like you have ears and all that stuff. So like, I don't believe in that.
Yeah.
I definitely disagree with that.
Okay, well, so it's saying abortions after 24 weeks are only allowed if it's something that could harm the carrier, like the mother's life,
Okay.
if she was to give birth. So that is, it has to,
Okay.
it has to be justified that it's supposed to
No,
harm.
no, but there's a problem with it.
Why is that?
They included some extra words right after.
What were the words? I need like the
Okay.
fact. I
Yeah.
need the
So-
facts of the case.
So
if I'm gonna believe this,
The problem is that whenever they mean harm to the mother,
okay.
they mean physically or mentally. So anybody could go to a hospital and be like, this baby is going to cause me like a depression.
But it's not fully up to the woman. It has to be decided by a medical professional as well.
Yeah.
No,
What-
but that's the thing. Like,
It's not like weed laws where you can just call up those doctors and be like, I have mild back pain, give me weed.
No,
it's not like that. You have to go in and they have to do an evaluation.
no, but like that's the thing. How do you really test for depression?
No, not depression. Like
No, like you legit that falls under the category. You could say this baby will give me depression because I'm not going to be able to support
You
myself.
can test for depression. You can test for serotonin levels in the brain. You can test for. There's a lot of different
Yeah.
ways that you can do it, and a
But-
lot of mothers do have symptoms after they give birth where
Right.
they do feel depression or they do. There's like some symptom where like they can want to kill the baby.
Right.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
Just
But
saying.
I think-
However, I feel like
I think that should be up to adoption.
I
at that
feel like
point.
it should be up to a doctor to decide whether
Yeah.
or not this is going to cause harm. But you know, me personally,
I'm talking like physical. Mental is like you can fix mental. You can also fix like
I feel like if it
physical,
puts her
but like
life in danger.
yeah, and
Yeah.
like
or
life
it causes permanent like
I understand
like
that.
damage.
Like if
to
it,
the
if
woman.
it was like a situation where I had to choose, or it's her decision.
Yes,
If
obviously.
if she had to choose between having the baby or dying, I'd be like, hey, I think you should save yourself. We can try again.
We can try again.
Yeah.
However-
me personally.
However, like I said, I was seeing a lot of news articles about it, about how controversial it was, and I saw like a bunch of YouTube videos on it, and they kept saying that under this category,
Yeah, but those,
going into the hospital and saying that like the baby will give you like, you know, a harder life and anxiety and all this stuff, does fall under harm to the mother.
yeah, but that falls under the media thing that Leif was talking about. Like media blow things out of proportion. Is that really what it is? Where like people are people adding depression to the list, or are they really like doing that? Because again, media could just be like, okay, this sounds more interesting if a mother is killing a baby because oh, I have depression, so she's
Yeah, I think a lot of it, like you're saying,
Yeah.
they're blowing it out of proportion because it is up to a licensed professional.
Yeah.
Whether or not you know they'll go through with it after, and that's after 24 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, typical pregnancy is what it says 38 to 42 weeks, right? I'm personally though, my personal opinion, and you can feel free to disagree with this and tell me your reasons why, is it's not my choice. The way I look at most things, like gay marriage, you know, abortion, all of this stuff, is I look at it as if it's not affecting me and other
Yeah,
people
I'm the
negatively.
same way, yeah.
I shouldn't butt my nose into it.
Yeah.
I'm not a woman. If it's not affecting me personally, it should be the woman's choice to do it. That's
Yeah.
how I look
But-
at this stuff. If somebody getting married to another man, that doesn't affect me
Yeah.
or anybody else
Yeah.
in any way. So why should
I don't
I
lose
try to
any
stop
sleep
that?
about
Okay,
it.
so
Yeah.
I agree.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I agree with that, the gay marriage part, but I feel like to a certain degree, there's a point where an abortion can be limiting, like to the mental like health of a man. Because if you're over here excited about a baby and then your girlfriend or fiance or whatever goes and gets an abortion, or wife goes and gets an abortion, you don't know about it,
Right.
that's gonna fuck you up
I
mentally.
think,
Yeah,
I
it
think
would.
I think that's
It's-
moral.
that's-
That's a moral thing.
Yeah, it's
I know, but at the same
super.
time, you're like, that was like my
It's
fucking baby, you know?
Literally, I think abortion is super debatable
It's
when it
really
comes to like,
debatable.
yeah, it's like
It's
so
a hard
debatable that there's, I don't feel like there's any real right or wrong to it because it's just more. At the end of the day, it's really, really like Leif said, is really just up to the female.
Because
However, I don't think that abortion should be covered under health insurance.
you say that it should be, but what about teenagers? You know what?
Yeah. Let's
No,
not
no,
let's not
the
delve
reason-
into that.
the reason I say that-
Yeah.
The reason I say that is because it kind of impedes on your First Amendment.
Right.
Because if you're over here having the same healthcare as this person, keep in mind, healthcare works as everybody pitching in, they pay monthly, and then they're able to, some people don't need the healthcare at that point for a couple months. They're probably not going to go to the hospital, so they're able to take that money and use it for another person and just bounce back, and they still make profit. However, the reason why I say it impedes on your First Amendment, religion, because you could have some super religious people that aren't okay with their money going towards an abortion.
I think, but there's a separation of church and state. Those two things, we have it. In the Constitution, church and state are separate.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah,
are completely separate
course.
things, so I don't think that religion should have any influence
Yeah.
on whether or not abortion is legal. I think when it comes down to it, it's a choice between, the mother and the father. The woman is the one who gets to make the final decision, right?
Yeah.
Because it's her body.
Yeah.
She's the one who has to carry the baby,
Yeah.
and it's her choice. But I feel like it's
Can't be
up.
damned,
It's
yeah.
up to the potential mother and father of the child, or of the person
Yeah.
who impregnated the woman. As long as it was all consensual. I think it should be a moral thing between them.
Yeah.
They should discuss whether or not they should keep the baby. And if the
Yeah.
woman does not want to keep the baby, that's it.
Yeah.
If she wants to keep it and then the father takes care of it,
Yeah.
Or they can
convince, and they,
Yeah.
if they can have a compromise to where she keeps it and the father's the one who takes care of it and raises it, but she doesn't want a child, I think they should be able to do that. But if she also feels that she can't handle it and she doesn't want to keep the pregnancy, that's her choice. That's her final choice.
But I have a question for that though. Because for me, I would say if her choice is I don't want to keep the baby because it's going to kill me, and at that point it's like, yeah, it's up to her, right?
Yeah.
But if she says I don't want to keep the baby because my figure, or I don't want to have a baby, or I don't want a baby, period, I think that's low key kind of selfish in a way. Because it's like there's so many people out there who literally can't have a baby who could take care of that baby. Yeah. So that's why I'm kind of against abortion, where it's like, okay, but why? Like if it's killing you, yes, I'm for it. Like if my wife came to me and said, hey, I don't want this baby because like it's killing me, like the doctor says it's killing me, I'm for it. But if she says I want to keep the baby and you take care of the baby, well, that's a little bit of an argument, but at the same time, it's her body. She's putting her body on the line.
And you also have the argument as well as that people have of the baby has some sort of disability. The baby has this or that. Would it be better to let this child be born into the world with this disability or with this disfigurement that could cause him so much pain in life, or would it be better to abort it? You have so many different debates that go into it. That's what makes abortion such a controversial issue. There's no right or wrong answer.
There really isn't. That's why I was like,
because a lot of it is based on morals.
Because at the end of the
day,
it's
all situational and it's all moral, and those are two things that that 100% of people will never agree on. Even 1,000 years from now,
Yeah.
100% of people would never agree on that.
Oh
Yeah. That is
Because I mean, like, if you just ban abortion, you're just, you know, rape victims and all that. You're damaging them as well.
People who the baby would actually, like, it would kill them to go through the pregnancy
Yeah.
and to give birth. You know, that there's so many different aspects to go
Yeah.
into it, bro.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, like, at the same time, there's so many people who are like, oh, you're selfish if you're not putting your life on the line for a kid. And it's like, well, honestly, I'm still pretty young. I got so much shit to do, you know? It's like,
I could pop out 5 babies.
or not even, like, if she literally physically cannot pop out that baby and
Yeah.
she can die from it, you know, maybe, hopefully, medical science could fix that in the future or whatever. But, you know, at the same time, yeah, I do understand, like, hey, if it's killing you, do you want to push the baby out and let it kill you, or leave it up to God to help you or whatever?
Or do you want to, you know, abort this one? Maybe we can try to get this one.
Your health
Try to
first,
improve
then.
your health.
Yeah.
Try to maybe help you gain a little more weight before we attempt pregnancy again. That way your body, because if you know, help her gain a little more weight, that way her body can actually handle it. That
Yeah.
way she has, you know,
Wider hips.
wider. Not I don't know wider
Well,
hips because you
yeah,
can't
that's
make
bone
wider
structure,
hips.
yeah.
That's bone
That's
structure.
bone structure,
But
yeah.
you know, just have a bigger body that can
Yeah.
support it
A tougher
better.
That's
Yeah.
literally why they made C-sections. I don't know if you know
Yeah.
that, but like, yeah, because some women don't have wider hips, so they made C-sections
Yeah.
because
Because
of
it
that.
would legit kill them.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and
Because already, like even
Yeah.
someone with wide hips, you get tearing, you get
Yeah.
all this stuff that's
Yeah.
that's really bad. So some
Be-
women just
yeah.
cannot deliver.
Yeah. because-
before C-section, they used to break the hips
Mm-hmm.
to they used to break it and pull the baby out.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
Number 1 killer for
And-
women was having a baby. Like
There's
Yeah.
so many like because women they're smaller than men.
Yeah,
Their bone structure, especially if you have a girlfriend who'd be considered petite,
yeah,
a smaller girlfriend. A lot of that stuff, that could kill her,
yeah,
especially if she has twins, triplets.
yeah, yeah,
If her body could support it.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So, let's move on because abortion is a little too sensitive.
And we've been jumping back and forth from all these different topics, but I mean,
Right.
it's
Next.
good to hear all of
Yeah.
these different opinions.
Yeah.
We're at the
Next.
1 hour mark.
All right, so
How long do we have left on this podcast?
As long as you want. I mean,
Yeah.
it's Christian shit. So
Yeah.
like,
I mean, you
I
can
do-
always
can I do
edit it,
one
too.
more controversial topic. One more.
yeah, yeah, we can
I
do
gotta
one more.
represent-
Get my
Yeah,
blood
yeah.
flowing.
How do you guys feel about transgenders in sports?
Oh,
This is super controversial.
Oh, yeah.
He's looking over here like,
I'm
what?
bringing out the
What
big
the
guns.
fuck did
That
you just
UFC
bring upon
thing,
this cursed
also,
land?
That transgender guy fought that lady and destroyed her.
Oh yeah, her skull
No, like just
in the UFC.
yeah, in UFC.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
she broke
yeah.
her skull.
oh
I think it
man.
shouldn't be allowed.
You
That's
think it
low-key
shouldn't?
cheating.
Come on, come over here.
Like,
I'm gonna give up my
alright,
seat to you.
It's already physical that
So
guys are
wait,
stronger
hold
than
on.
women and stuff like
Wait,
that.
hold on. So we got David coming in just to give his like 2 cents,
Yeah,
guys.
This one is not even like this shouldn't even be a topic at all. Like we are like it's already like we could gain more muscle than women, and all the records that show in sports compared to women are already higher than theirs. So like the odds of a woman beating a guy, sure it could happen, but odds are most likely
You're looking
wrong.
at it from a genetic standpoint.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
It's based on physically the way men are built.
yeah, but even if they're transgender, they're still going to be like biologically a guy, though.
Well, not just that. There's the issue of bone structure. So, like we were saying, men tend to have heavier, stronger bones
Yeah.
than women. So, something that a lot of people don't know about estrogen is estrogen actually retains bone structure. So, whenever you're doing your estrogen therapy to transition, you actually retain more
It's
of your.
basically like steroids.
Yeah, you actually
which
retain more of
is
your bone
against,
structure.
You know,
Also,
you're not
that's
supposed
why-
to use that in sports at all. So
Okay,
Yeah,
did you guys hear about the Connecticut thing?
the what?
The Connecticut thing?
No.
Okay.
Try to be as unbiased as possible when explaining.
Oh,
this.
I'm not. I'll do my best. Okay, so in Connecticut, there were
Oh, you said Connecticut. I
Yeah.
thought you was talking about some like
No,
drug or something.
Connecticut.
It
Okay.
didn't sound like Connecticut at all.
So
when you
in
said
Connecticut, there are 2 champions in track in the
Yes.
female division.
that. Yes.
The number 1 spot and the number 2 spot are in the same team, and they're both transgender.
Male to female.
Male to female. Like they're originally born male, transitioning into female.
Mm.
So they're absolutely destroying the competition. Like absolutely
Like Hussein Bolt
slaying everyone.
Oh.
Like big gaps, absolutely murdering the competition. If they were in the male division, they would be getting destroyed. Like they wouldn't even be in state.
Yeah.
So they held an interview for them. Just have a talk because apparently PTA members and the school system, there were a lot of parents complaining and a lot of female track runners complaining about how it wasn't fair because according to them, you know, that's it. Don't want to say this because I don't want to get in trouble, but according to them, they were like, oh, that's a dude. They shouldn't be allowed to compete in our division. This isn't fair.
So what you're saying is we're gonna
And
go
then-
into that utter controversial thing
No, no,
about
no.
transgenders.
So they were interviewing them about, you know, what they thought about the concerns about the parents and the other competitors, the non-transgender competitors. And their response to that was, oh, well, they're simply just not working hard enough. They need to work harder.
Okay, now you just that's.
But,
now
like,
you're gonna defame
okay,
them like
so-
that. If they're not working hard enough, then I'll understand. But
Exactly.
can you show me the proof that
All
they're
right,
not
so-
working hard enough?
So you know, I'm not going to touch on this at all because I don't know anything at all. I have to do my research on it, but what is, and you can speak truthfully, it's fine. I literally don't care. You can speak truthfully. What is your thought process on it? Like, are you like for it, or is it like, all right, literally like, you know, are you against it? You know?
Oh, I think it's complete horseshit.
Okay, right.
Like, I mean, you can see it in Texas where there's been an undefeated wrestling champion
Right.
in the female division in which it is a female transitioning to be a male.
Right.
Yeah.
So originally born a female.
Right.
Now, it's not like the Connecticut situation.
Right.
I don't think it is his fault that he is put in the female division because he has requested himself that he wants to be in the male division.
Right.
But they don't allow him.
Right.
So this is kind of like it's a bit of a different, like it's not as smug as the response that
I mean, couldn't they just make up their own division though?
yeah, but there wouldn't be
Yeah,
as many
that'd be
competitors. They
kinda
wouldn't
weird.
have enough competitors.
Because like we're
It's
you
just
gonna
a
do
small
like just all
percentage.
transgenders.
Yeah,
Just
it would
like
just
a-
be repetitive
it'd be
as
like a
hell.
woman and
Super
man.
repetitive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there aren't enough competitors.
Yeah.
It's just such a small community compared to just the mass. Completely undefeated for 2 years straight, won state champs 2 years straight because he is taking testosterone. At this point,
Yeah,
he's
that's why
to
you-
the end of
you
his
earned-
transition.
You earn to move up to the
Yeah,
guys
he is
division
in
at
the
that
end
point,
of his
see what he
transition. Like he's a dude.
Yeah.
Like you look at him and you're like, that's a dude.
That's a guy right there.
And then in the MMA fight,
And
Yeah.
hold on, I'd like to interject. You also have to understand the difference between estrogen treatment and testosterone treatment. You know, male to female taking estrogen treatment is completely different from a female to male transition taking testosterone treatment. They have different effects on the body, you know,
Well, yeah.
in terms of what they do for you.
but it still increases muscle mass.
It's still, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's different from estrogen.
So
you know?
for estrogen, you retain more bone mass. For testosterone, you end up gaining more muscle. So now, in the UFC fight, it was originally born a male, transitioning to be a female. And they went ahead, have the fight. Keep in mind, the non-transgender goes, as a female, I think that I am pretty damn strong because it's a heavyweight division.
Yeah.
For a female, I'm pretty damn strong. But I have never felt so overpowered in my life.
Of course not.
This woman literally got her head cracked. Her skull was cracked during this fight. That is how badly she got beaten.
I'm pretty sure that ruined her career too.
No, it was able to get
it's a good
fixed.
one.
As long as it's able to get healed.
Yeah, it was able to get mended.
I guess she's.
But I mean, it's already bad enough that her skull was
Yeah.
cracked. And then whenever they
That
asked
could damn
for the
well kill her,
response,
too.
Yeah.
whenever they asked for the response from the transgender because they weren't fully aware of the whole situation concerning her,
Yeah.
she goes, "Oh, well, I just didn't think it was relevant information."
I feel like you have to look at the way muscle is distributed for a male versus a female, the way bones are, like you said. I mean, males versus females, there's some awesome female athletes,
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
Whether it's male to female transition and female to male, there's awesome male athletes too, you know? But the thing is, when you look at it, I don't see it as fair.
Yeah.
I don't see it as fair because there's advantages to different things, you know? Whether you're a male to female or a female to male, depending on which division you're in, there are advantages to certain things.
Like,
you know?
imagine if Caitlyn Jenner had transitioned earlier in her life and had
she
competed
would
in the
fucking-
female division of the Olympics.
Because she already did awesome. She already did awesome in the male division.
So
You
imagine,
have Usain
imagine in
Bolt
the
up
female division.
She, like, every
Undefeated
year,
new Usain Bolt.
fucking goddamn. How long was he in track for? Like, every year winning that, basically.
Yeah, she was in track for a while.
All
Yeah.
goes for every year.
Yep. So
So,
imagine.
so that's the thing, bro. I mean, you really just have to look at it from a genetic standpoint. I don't look at it as though you're transgender, so I don't want you to compete because you're transgender. That's not what most people, I think, are saying.
Yeah,
I think
no.
most people are saying, you know, you're transgender, it's fine.
We did just find you.
we
good
accept-
about
We
your
accept
decision.
you for it, but we want to make sure that you're with people who biologically, you know, genetically are an equal match for you.
Yeah.
Who,
Which is
who are a
odd.
good competition for you.
It's a fair matchup.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about you transitioning. It's not about the fact that you're transgender. It's about the fact that we want to make sure everything's fair, and we want to make sure genetically and based on your muscle and your bones
Like,
that everything
Yeah,
is
tell us
equal.
what you are first.
there was, I forgot. It wasn't some like New Zealand around there. It was one of those countries. There was a power lifter, originally born a male, transitioning to a female. As a male, completely awful power lifter.
By the way, Sadiel is experienced with weightlifting and
Yeah.
all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Completely mediocre power lifter, like to the max, like bottom of the line. Then decides to transition from male to female.
Or we shouldn't say decides, but you know, transitioned.
Yeah.
Because it sounds
Transition.
like a person.
Wanted.
That's not. We're not saying that they transitioned for any reason. Just to be clear, we're
No,
just
no, no,
saying
no.
you know they transitioned at some
Yeah.
point in their life.
And then decide to compete in the female division. And she absolutely destroys everybody. Like, I'm talking, it was a massive gap between her and second place.
Damn.
Like, it was like night and day.
Because the male body
And
can
you
just
just-
take more in
yeah.
terms of
Yeah.
weightlifting.
And you just look at these people, and they, like, the other females competing that are non-transgender just feel so defeated.
even though they're putting in their best and they're doing awesome, you know,
Because we're
Yeah.
they're good at what they're
We're
doing.
talking about a top of the line female powerlifter who dedicated so much time towards lifting, dedicated pretty much every freaking day to just becoming stronger, going to the gym, and just doing the absolute best. All of a sudden, here comes this bottom feeder who decides to
I wouldn't. I don't think you should call them that.
no. What I refer to as bottom feeder is like from a bottom of the food chain in the male powerlifting league.
Okay.
I don't mean like bottom feeder as in like social
scum
standing
or something like
yeah,
that.
I don't mean it as like scum or like
that.
social standing. I mean like bottom feeder as in like very,
Absolute
very low
worst.
tier, not good male powerlifter. Transitions to a female, didn't have to train nearly as hard, and completely wipes out the competition and takes a trophy from them. And I feel like that's unacceptable.
Yeah.
Because it's just, I don't know, it's just not fair. Because they have to put in half the work.
Genetically and scientifically speaking,
They have to put in half the
Yeah.
work.
it's,
that the other people do.
it's not fair for female athletes.
Yeah.
I just don't think it is.
Nah,
Some of these women are, they're training every day, and they've reached, peak performance, and they're at the best you can get. Those are the best you can get. And then to have someone, come in, like you said, who was subpar in terms of
Yeah,
male powerlifting
completely
competition, and then they transition. Now they're a female. But to have them come in and knowing that, biologically and that scientifically their body can take more and they can lift more. It's just unfair to these female athletes who have spent their whole lives working as hard as they could for it.
Yeah. They like trained for this moment.
They train
And
for
then they
their
get
they
stripped.
train for their moment. They train to be seen as one of the greats.
Yep. And then they get completely stripped.
It's like a
Christian,
guy getting hit in the nuts in the UFC and still losing, even though they obviously saw it and they didn't call no contest.
Are you
That's
talking
such
about
bullshit.
He did the one referee that kept missing all the cheating moves on the guy who got his eyes gouged. He still lost. And everyone saw.
do we have any other topics that
See, that's the situation
that
where
we
it's
have for this
like, didn't
podcast?
see it,
Yeah.
quote unquote.
No, that's
Should we wrap it up here? Come
Yeah,
over here.
let's
You're the
wrap it up.
host. You're the host.
All right, Christian, come on.
You've been kind of sitting out
Wrap
for the
it.
last
Wrap it up.
round.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it. I have to be educated on.
And we're trying to
Yeah,
tackle
no,
this
no.
from the most scientific way possible.
Yeah. I definitely understand that. Well, this is this was definitely a podcast called Let's Have a Conversation, because we definitely did have a conversation. There's no judgment here.
And what platform is this on?
This is on YouTube.
On YouTube, subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe. There's no judgment here. We definitely are not coming from a heavy heart or a black heart or whatever. We if you guys feel like you need to educate us more on certain topics that we talked about, please feel to do so in the comment below, because we do like to learn and we do like to make sure we're
some
educated on these stuff.
conversations.
Yeah, definitely have some conversations and
Send some questions if you'd like. Yeah.
oh yeah, definitely send some questions. We can definitely talk about it on another podcast of any questions you guys have. Just definitely subscribe, like, dislike, and send some questions in the comment below and educate us. This was Let's Have a Conversation with Sadio, Christian, and Leif, and thank you.
Ring that bell.
So,